Hey, what is going on, guys? Jay Shy here with another video, and this video is going to be a little bit of a discussions video. This is something I've been meaning to discuss with on my channel for the longest, and it's something I don't see a lot of YouTubers even talking about. Really, they either talk about, you know, all the stuff that they did in the games or all the stuff they played and etc. And I've never actually heard anybody do a discussion on their first reactions on the game, like when they first went through it, like how did it make them feel, you know, how they really decided on they were going to continue on with the series. Because personally, me, I hated the series at first. I'm not even gonna lie about that. So the discussion that I want to start up is your first reactions to the series. When you first started playing the game, how did it make you feel? You know, what made you want to keep playing it? Because I'm pretty sure a lot of us have died playing through the game. So I figure it'll be a pretty cool discussion that I make a video about this. And towards the end, if you watch this video, towards the end, if you have like leave comments below, like how did it make you feel, or send a I forgot, I don't know what you call them, like videos about, you know, how it made you feel. So starting off, I pretty much hated this series at first. I'm not even gonna lie. A lot of you guys already know my intro game to the series was Devil Survivor on the DS. Devil Survivor was the very first SMT game that I've ever played. I never played Persona, I never played anything else except Devil Survivor. And a friend loaned it to me, and I can't say I liked the game at first, because at first I didn't know what I was getting myself into when I first started to play the game. When I dived into it, the only thing that caught my attention on the game was the fact that it was kind of like a strategy grid-based RPG. It reminded me of Final Fantasy Tactics or Vandal Hearts on the PS1, and I love strategy RPGs. I love tactical strategy RPGs, you know, stuff like Fire Emblem, games like that, and so on. And that was the archetype game that I was interested in. I was like, oh man, you know, that's kind of cool, the fact that Devil Survivor had it. Now, when I first got into the game, there was a lot of reading. You didn't really have an overworld. It was like a map. That kind of threw me off. And the fact that the grid-based gameplay was there, that's what reeled me in. And I was like, oh, okay, I see. This is kind of cool. You know, 3 friends in a city, you know, they're fighting demons. And I was like, all right, that's cool with DSs, really. And I thought that was interesting. So I kind of got into the game because of that. The next thing that cemented it was the fact that there was a Pokemon aspect to it, you know, the fact that you got to recruit demons, which was cool, and then fuse them off to make new ones. And I was like, that's interesting, that's really cool, I really like that too. And you would just find yourself, and then like I would find myself in the fusion screen for countless hours. I can't even tell you how many hours you would spend in that screen alone, listening to the loop of that one song in Devil Survivor. And now, understand this, I still don't know if I liked the game, you know, if I really wanted to continue. But the problem was that even though I knew I wasn't sure I didn't like it or not, for some reason I kept playing it. That is where you know you were hooked. You try to tell yourself, you're not really feeling it, and then all of a sudden you just find yourself turning on your 3DS and playing it even more. And it kind of just reels you in from there. And that's pretty much how I got into SMT games. My reaction was I was very confused and I wasn't sure about what I was getting into. But later on, I was like, I wonder what the other games are like, and I assumed that a lot of them were going to be strategy tactical RPGs, but I knew that they weren't, because years before I had seen Nocturne, and when Nocturne came out, it was a traditional RPG video game where you basically, it was like Final Fantasy. It was like Final Fantasy with demons, but I never played that. And recently I tried it out, which is cool. Now, even though Devil Survivor is not. No, even though it's my first game, it's not my favorite. You would think that the first SMT game that you play, usually the first game you ever play, is your favorite. It's nothing else after that. To be honest with you, my favorite SMT to date, hands down, which is funny, is Shin Megami Tensei If. Shin Megami Tensei If is, without a shadow of a doubt, my favorite Mega 10 game. And the reason why, I know it's dated. The game is hella dated. But I like that game so much because it almost feels like a pseudo Persona game, which was weird. Because you start off, the characters are in school and something happens because of the one student Hazama, he changes, he just basically messes everything up for everybody. And it just, I can't even explain it. It's just everything just goes to hell. And it's weird because the reason why I make this video is because, as you guys know, I'm playing Shin Megami Tensei Strange Journey right now. I'm playing it, and I started noticing something as I was playing, and there is like an area map, and I didn't ever notice it. I didn't notice it until today, and I was playing, and I was like, wait a minute, this select screen where you get to select the world you want to go to reminds me of If. Because If was kind of like that. You basically, except here it's areas for what I grab right now. I'm not too far into the game. I'm about 15 hours in. And in If, there was basically different worlds that you could select depending on it was based on the different deadly sins. And this is kind of like that. And I was like, wait a minute, is this game like If or something like that? Which was interesting. And it just brought me back. And that's why I am basically making this discussion video. Like, how was your reaction to these old SMT games? Have you ever played a game that made you think of something else in the past? Because like I said, I didn't like the SMT series back then, and then I basically just got drawn into it, because everything about their stories are so engaging. The one thing that I love about SMT games is the fact that there is no clear good and evil, especially in Shin Megami Tensei games. Persona games aside, I haven't played 1 or 2, so I don't know it. But 3 and 4 basically have a good. But the thing I love about SMT games is the fact that there's no clear-cut, dry, who's good, who's evil. There's no shades of gray, none of that. It's basically a game written to ask you the question, what do you think is the best course of action? What do you think is better for you and humanity? And demons alike, depending on what side you pick. And I kind of like that because a lot of RPGs that you played back in the day are basically, cut dry, where it's like, we're friends, let's band together, let's save the world. And you kind of get tired of RPGs like that, which is why I didn't play Bravely Default. I have Bravely Default. I'm looking at it right now, and I haven't played it just because I knew what kind of RPG I was getting into, and I was so stuck on Shin Megami Tensei that I was just like, I'd rather just play that instead. But that's pretty much my discussions video on that. I really want to know what you guys think. Like, how was your experience? How did it make you feel when you first started playing it? And I can't wait to hear some of you guys' thoughts on this, because I think it's a really good question. Like, a lot of people they never really ask the question, because a lot of people on YouTube, they basically make videos about, I've beaten this boss, I've gotten all this, I beat the game twice. How did it make you feel when you first played it? Like, did you really get into it? Did you not? Was it off and on? And stuff like that. So I look forward to hearing some of you guys' thoughts on this. I will be coming out with another video very soon, and stay tuned for that, guys. All right, peace.